Good evening and welcome to POS News. Our main story tonight, new threats and an ultimatum from Israel over Iran's nuclear program. Earlier today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu repeated his concerns over the possibility of Iran developing a nuclear weapon. Mr. Netanyahu said that time was running out in the race to stop Iran's weapon development and that Israel would, quote, never live in the shadow of annihilation, close quote. Quoting unnamed intelligence sources, he claimed there was solid evidence that Iran was now just weeks away from completing a nuclear device. He went on to warn that unless Iran fully complied with all existing UN Security Council resolutions and allowed full access to IAEA inspection teams within the next 48 hours, Israel reserved the right to take direct action against Iranian nuclear facilities at the earliest suitable opportunity. We now turn to our Middle East correspondent, Marcus Veen, for an interpretation of the new Israeli stance.
Thank you, Bobby. It seems clear that Israel is no longer willing to play the waiting game. Its earlier warnings that it would take action if Iran continued to progress towards a nuclear weapons capability have either been ignored or deflected by the Iranian government. This new ultimatum is the first time Israel has given an explicit timetable for Iran to respond to and increases regional tensions significantly. There will have to be an immediate response by the UN Security Council to this situation, and I anticipate frantic diplomatic negotiations over the coming 2 days as the international community tries to avoid what could quickly become direct military conflict between Israel and Iran. Any Israeli military action would be extremely risky, as it would require Israeli jets to overfly Turkey, Lebanon, Iraq, or Saudi Arabia, all of whom may subsequently be open to Iranian retaliation. Indeed, Iran has promised on several occasions that it would respond in kind to any Israeli action, although a direct military response may be beyond Iranian military capabilities. Instead, Iran could use proxies, such as Hamas and Hezbollah, to launch missile attacks on Israel, or use its navy to blockade the Straits of Hormuz. In any event, avoiding escalation of the current crisis is surely at the top of the agenda for the UN Security Council members. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Marcus. In the last few moments, we have just heard that the UN Security Council has called an emergency meeting to respond to these developments. For more on this, we turn to our diplomatic correspondent, Jean Combois.
Thank you, Bobby. The emergency meeting of the Security Council is likely to be full of accusations and counter-accusations, as both Iran and Israel are currently non-permanent members. The diplomatic pressure is building on the 5 permanent members to take decisive action to avoid what many are warning could be a new regional war in the Middle East. The options available are renewed sanctions against Iran, increased IAEA inspections, and even a new Security Council resolution. But delegates must move quickly if any such measures are to succeed in the limited time frame left by the Israeli ultimatum.
Thank you, Jean. We'll be following this story throughout the coming days, and our reporters will be covering the Security Council negotiations. So stay tuned with POS News for all the latest news, insight, and analysis. Good night, and good luck.